Hello friends, I hope you are all doing good. This is a very small video which I am making with regard to an important announcement which has been made by ICAI. This announcement is applicable for CA intermediate student, those who are writing their examination in November 2021. So those who are writing their examination in November 2021, ICAI has excluded, they have removed some topics from your syllabus which you don't have to study. So it is a very good news for you all. There are some topics which were already not there, and there is one topic which was very important topic, which while discussing in the classroom I used to tell that this is most important topic from exam point of view, and that topic has been removed, making your syllabus very small, meaning in the sense you will be able to revise because the paper is only for 40 marks. They thought that let us remove this part of the syllabus because students are studying a lot of things. So that is a very good exclusions from the syllabus. So let us see what are the exclusions, what is the update which has been issued by ICAI. So on your ICAI website, if you go to intermediate course, you just have to click on paper number 4, which is taxation. Once you click on taxation paper, you will find all these different pages, different points. So point number 4, if you see, study guidelines for section B, indirect taxes for November 2021 examination. You just have to click that study guidelines for indirect taxes for November 2020 examination, and then you will get this particular sheet. So this PDF is of 2 pages. This is a 2-page PDF. We will just open this in our writing pad. So if it is just a 2-page PDF which talks about different topics which are not applicable for your syllabus in November 2021 examination. Please note, these topics were applicable before, and if you have any material issued by ICAI, okay, if you have any material issued by ICAI, or if you would have attended classes anywhere, you have already attended, please note, if you have already attended the classes anywhere with regard to IDT, or if you have the ICAI material, these topics would have already been covered for you, meaning they would have taught some of the topics, whatever topics are mentioned over here. Some of the topic you would have learnt in your classes when you had attended, but now there are some topics which is not applicable to you for your examination purpose. Though you have learnt it, you can forget those topics because they will not be asked in the examination. Now please note the amendment, the exclusions which is there. No, there are only 2 exclusions which is very important. Other exclusions were anyways there in the syllabus, meaning these topics were anyways not applicable to you while you were studying before also. For example, I'll just tell you what are the different exclusion. And very important thing you should note is that this is applicable for those students who are under new course. So intermediate new course paper number 4. So sir, what if I am in old course? Then for you this exclusion is not applicable for you. Whatever was whatever material you are having, whatever you would have studied, the same thing is still applicable. Exclusion is applicable only for those who are writing or those who have opted for the new course, or those who have shifted from old course to new course, or those who have registered under the new course only. Applicability of GST law. First point says the provisions of CGST Act and IGST Act as amended by Finance Act 2020, not 2021, not this Finance Act. Finance Act 2020 will be applicable, and Finance Act 2019, Finance Act number 2, meaning normally 2 budget meetings happens, is conducted by the board, the finance minister. So the second budget meeting is somewhere done in the month of June or July. So Finance Act 2019 second and the Finance Act 2020, those changes and amendments which were made at that time will be applicable to you for your syllabus, including the significant notification and circulars which as amended and issued up to 30th April 2021 will be applicable to your syllabus. That is for November 2021 syllabus. We all know about all these circulars, etc. sir. Now the study guideline given below specifies the exclusions. They specify what? They specify the exclusions. There are some exclusions from your syllabus, from the syllabus of November 2021 examination. So if you are writing your examination in November 2021, for you these are the different topics which you don't have to study. These are the different topics which you don't have to study. What are the exclusions? There is a chapter number 2, no, chapter number 3. First chapter is introduction, second chapter is supply, third chapter is charge of GST. So from chapter number 2, you don't have to know what are the different rates of taxes applicable for various types of goods and what are the rates of taxes applicable for various types of services. Now before the institute material, the latest material has not given the rates. Before, the institute material also contained the different list of rates. Say for say pen is taxable at 5%, then pencil is taxable at 5%, books are taxable at 0%, shirt is taxable at 5%, etc. Mobile phone is taxable at 18%. Before, the rates were specified in your material, but now these rates is something which you don't have to know. From your exam perspective, you don't have to know at what rate a particular product is taxable, whether it is a goods or services, at what rate it is taxable, it is not required to be known. However, there is one star mark which they have put over here. Sir, what is a star condition apply? Yeah? No, not condition apply. They say normally you don't have to know what is the rate applicable for a particular goods or for a particular services. However, there is a chapter called as composition scheme. There is a chapter called as composition scheme. In this composition scheme, there are some rates given, say 0.5% of turnover in a state in case you are a manufacturer, 2.5% of turnover in a state in case you are a restaurant service provider, and for others it is 0.5% of taxable turnover in a state in case you are a service provider, 3% of turnover in a state. So these rates are given under composition scheme. So whatever rates are given under section 10, they will be applicable. They will be applicable. Apart from that, all the other different types of products which you see, all the different types of services which are there, for them what is the GST rate applicable, you don't have to know. You don't have to know those rates. Then you also don't have to know different types of goods, supply of goods on which the tax is required to be paid under reverse charge mechanism. You don't have to know what are the goods on which tax is required to be paid under reverse charge mechanism. See, this was something which was not applicable before also, but still they have clarified it. Your institute material contains point with regard to that. Even during my discussion in my classroom, I have discussed about all these things. I have discussed about what are the different goods on which tax is required to be paid under. See, even in my discussion, what are the different types of goods on which tax is required to be paid under reverse charge. This discussion was made in the classroom, but this is not applicable for your examination from November onwards. Sir, what about services? What about the services for which the tax is required to be paid under reverse charge? The services for which tax is required to be paid under reverse charge, yes, it is applicable. For the services on which the tax is required to be paid by you under reverse charge mechanism, yes, on these points you are still required to learn. You are still required to learn what are the different types of services on which the tax is required to be paid by you under reverse charge mechanism. In case of goods, it is not there. Goods only goods have been removed. Services are still applicable. This is with respect to CGST Act. Similarly, IGST Act, what is excluded, sir? Different goods and services, the rate of different goods and services on which you have to pay the taxes. Then just like your 9.3, there is something called as 5.3. 5.3 is what, sir? 5.3 is for reverse charge under IGST Act. Reverse charge under IGST Act. Those provisions also in respect of goods is not applicable to you. Those provisions also in respect of goods. So whatever supplies which is taxable under reverse charge for goods, whatever supply of goods which is taxable under reverse charge is not applicable for you for the coming attempt. Then just like that, there is something called as interstate supply, intrastate supply and supply to territorial waters, which is nothing but section 7, section 8 and section 9 of IGST Act. See, this was never part of your syllabus. This was never part of your syllabus. Section 7, section 8 and section 9 of IGST Act was never part of your syllabus, and other sections of IGST Act was never part of your syllabus. Just for the purpose of making you understand the difference between interstate supply and intrastate supply, you would have learnt about your institute, wherever you would have studied this topic, they would have taught you about the interstate supply and intrastate supply. The definitions or meaning they would have given. But they will not ask you any question on that particular topic, whether this particular supply is called as interstate supply, tell me as per which section it is and what is the provision telling. No, because it is under IGST Act, and IGST Act is something which is applicable to you at your final level. Then similarly, under IGST Act, there are some provisions with regard to OIDAR services. OIDAR means what, sir? Online Information Database Access and Retrieval Services. Those topics also are not applicable to you. See, majorly if you see, the first exclusion which they have mentioned over here, they were never part of your syllabus at all. They were never part of your syllabus. But still, for your knowledge purpose, they have given that this were never part of your syllabus, and in future also it will not be part of your exams. Then next topic is with regard to exemptions. Exemption chapter which is there, exemptions can be for goods or exemption can be for services. Now they have given some list of goods. They have not given the entire list of goods, but they have given some list of goods on which are exempt from payment of taxes, on which tax is not required to be paid at all. Now those goods which are there, which are exempt, you don't have to learn which are the different goods which are exempt under GST. Say for example, I'll show it from my material. Say, even in our classroom also we have discussed this. See, for goods, notification number 2/2017 is applicable. They have given some list of goods. They have given some list of goods like say fish, potato, grapes, etc. They have given some list of goods which are exempt from payment of tax, on which you don't have to pay any GST, on which you don't have to pay any GST. You don't have to learn this. You don't have to learn this. They have given in the material, it is just for your knowledge purpose. It is not applicable for your examination. Sir, what about services which are exempt? 100% you have to learn. Very important. Services which are exempt under GST law, yes, you have to learn about those services. So CGST Act, exemption of goods is excluded. Exemption of services is still applicable. Educational services, healthcare services, charitable services by charitable institute, government services, etc. All the services which are there, they are applicable for your examination. Only the exemption in respect of supply of goods is excluded. Then from the topic time of supply and value of supply, there are two exclusions. Anyways, they were never part of your syllabus. They were never part of your syllabus. From the topic time of supply, there is something called as section 14. Section 14. Section 14 talks about what, sir? Section 14 talks about time of supply whenever there is a change in rate of tax. This was never a part of your syllabus before, and going forward also it will not be part of your syllabus. So in the topic time of supply, you have to learn only two things: time of supply of goods and time of supply of services. Time of supply of goods and time of supply of services. Time of supply whenever there is a change in rate of tax, section 14 is not applicable to you. Similarly, in the topic value of supply, section 15 talks about value of supply. Section 15 is applicable to you. There are rules of valuation, CGST rules, rule number 27 to rule number 25, rule number 27 to rule number 25 of, rule number 27 to rule number 35 of CGST Act talks about value of supply. How to determine the value of supply in some cases, it is given in rule number 27 to rule number 35. Those rules are not applicable to you. Those rules are not applicable to you. Please note, they were never applicable to you, but still they have given it in exclusions part. Then the most important exclusion is from this chapter. Most important exclusion is from the chapter input tax credit. All the other exclusions, if you know, if you don't know, you can completely ignore. But what is given in input tax credit topic is very important. Now, in your input tax credit chapter, there section 16, 17, 18 was something which was applicable to you. 19, 20 and 21 were never applicable to you, so they are still not applicable. Under section 17, section 17 talks about what? Apportionment of input tax credit and block credit. Section 17 talks about apportionment of credit and block credit. Now this, for apportionment of input tax credit under section 17, you would have studied rule number 42, rule number 43. Rule number 42 is applicable if you want to apportion the ITC in respect of input and input services. Rule number 43 is applicable in case you are checking the apportioning the input tax credit in respect of capital goods. Those rules, rule number 42 and rule number 43, is not applicable to you going forward. They were part of your syllabus. They were part of your syllabus. You would have learnt about this and you would have got confused also. You would have got confused also because this is confusing only. Anyways, this is no more applicable to you. This is no more applicable to you for your syllabus. CGST Act read with CGST rules. Manner of determination of input tax credit in respect of input and input services and reversal thereof. Who is talking about it? Rule number 42 is talking about this. That is not applicable to you anymore. That is not applicable for your coming examination. Similarly, manner of determination of input tax credit in respect of capital goods and reversal thereof. Who talks about it? Rule number 43. That is not applicable to you for your examination. Sir, why sir they have removed it? If you are telling it is so much important, why they have removed it? They have removed it because there are a lot of other amendments which have come under input tax credit chapter, section 16. They have introduced rule number 36, rule number 36 1, 2, 3, 4. Rule number 36 4 says you can take only 5% extra input tax credit, etc. So students are already confused with the law. If I add this also, the students will be more confused. So they have specifically excluded this part. Then input tax in respect of inputs and input services for job work, section 19 was anyways not part of your syllabus, so it is still not part of your syllabus. And similarly, ITC in respect of input service distributor, section 20 and section 21, that was also never part of your syllabus. It is still not part of your syllabus. It is excluded. So section 21 talks about this recovery of excess ITC distributed by the input service distributor. And from your returns chapter, as we know that practically GSTR2 and GSTR3 are not there. Practically GSTR2 and GSTR3 are not there. So provisions with regard to that is not applicable for your examination. Provisions with regard to GSTR2, GSTR3. What is GSTR2? What is GSTR3? You don't have to know. You don't have to know. Just like that, matching concept, something called as matching concept is there. Say supplier is filing GSTR1, it will come to GSTR2A of the recipient. Then it will be matched with the purchase details which is submitted by the recipient, etc. Some nonsense concept like this was introduced right at the beginning. It was there right at the beginning. Very good concept, but it is not there in the real world now. It is not there in the real world. Practically no such matching is happening. Because no such matching is happening, matching concept, the topics with regard to matching concept is not applicable for your examination. Please note, this was never a part of your syllabus, and going forward also it will not be part of your syllabus. Similarly, under payment of taxes, only until section 4950 is applicable to you. Section 51 and section 52 was never part of your syllabus. Section 51 talks about TDS, section 52 talks about TCS. They were never part of your syllabus, and going forward also for your examination it will not be part of your syllabus. Now the crux, if you ask me about all these different things which you have seen, the most important thing is that rule number 42 and rule number 43, they were something which was part of your syllabus, and now it is not part of your syllabus. All the other things which are there, all the other exclusions which they have given, they were never part of your syllabus. They were never part of your syllabus. So you can please completely ignore them. So they have given with regard to those rates specified for computing the tax payable under composition levy shall be included in the syllabus. So whatever tax rate you are learning under composition scheme chapter, they are still applicable to you. Now notes with regard to the above topics, they are telling that there are some topics which were never part of your syllabus, that is still not applicable to you. You can just read it if you want to read it. I have just given you the broad overview of whatever is there in this particular sheet. Okay, so this was a very small video with regard to this amendments which is there, etc. So you can definitely go through this sheet. Now if you have the chart material, with you, I'll just tell you what is excluded from the chart material. If you have the chart material, if you don't have the chart material, you can definitely place an order by sending a message on 96-2002-2004. Okay, you can send a message on this number and you can place your order. Now from introduction chapter, is there any changes? No changes. From supply chapter, is there any changes? No changes. From charge chapter, is there any changes? Now normally these rates which are there, no, you don't have to know these rates. You don't have to know what are the different types of rate under GST Act. Whatever problem they are going to, whatever question they are going to give in the, whatever problem they are going to give in the question paper, for that specifically they will give a rate, apply that rate. You don't have to know what are the different rates applicable. And with regard to RCM, only for services, only services has been listed over here, only for services reverse charges applicable. You will still have to know the rates applicable for a composition dealer. Then in with regard to time of supply chapter, section 12 and section 13, section 12 and section 13 is applicable. Section 14 was never part of your syllabus. It is further also in future also it is not part of your syllabus for coming examination and going forward also. And with regard to value of supply, only section 15 was applicable to you. Even today section 15 is applicable. Section rule number 27 to rule number 35, these rules are not applicable to you. They were never part of your syllabus. Now next topic is something which is important. Now here, before my chart material contained section 16, 17, 18, and it also contained rule number 42 and rule number 43. Now you can straight away ignore this rule number 42 and rule number 43, which talks about apportionment of input tax credit in case of input services, and 43 talks about capital goods. So you just have to learn section 18, section 17 and section 16. These sections are very important sections. Most important is section 16 and the other most important is section 17 subsection 5. So you have to know these sections. Apart from that, there is no changes. From returns chapter, there is no major changes. I think return chapter, what is the change in the return chapter? Sorry, registration chapter. This is not return chapter, this is registration chapter. Registration chapter, there is no changes. However, there are many amendments in this registration chapter. Please make sure you read those amendments. Amendment video has already been uploaded, and there are few amendments applicable for the coming examination. Maybe by next week or a week after that, I'll upload the amendment video on the YouTube page. So you can refer those also. That amendment video will be applicable to everyone anyways. Then for tax invoice, debit note, credit note, there is no changes. However, there are some amendments. Will be a separate video which will be made. Then with regard to e-way bill, no changes. Then with regard to payment of taxes, see, payment of taxes before section 49 was applicable and section 50 was applicable. Even today these two sections are only applicable to you. TDS, TCS provisions are not applicable. Then returns, provisions with regard to GSTR 2 and GSTR 3 are not applicable to you. Then exemption, only exemption for services is applicable to you. In the chart material, only the list of exemption of services is given. Now the chart material is only of 21 pages, so anyone wants to place an order of the chart material, you can definitely place an order. It is very helpful for your daily revision and one day before examination revision. Okay, that's it from my side. Let us meet very soon in my next video, which is going to come maybe within 10 days. Till then, tada, bye bye, take care.